Nestled among Tokyo's skyscrapers is a labyrinth of neighborhoods almost 100 years old. They're the city's densest areas and were built on farmland in the 1920s by refugees of another great earthquake. As ancestral settlers look on, 72-year-old Kinyo Hoshino teaches traditional music to his neighbors in Arakawa Ward. He's been teaching for 50 years. The songs remind them of a simpler, better time.
When I started to sing, people could hear me from miles away. I have always thought that this place is somewhat special.
Hoshino's music doesn't reverberate like it used to. Many of the old houses have been modified and are no longer just made of wood. But 60% of Arakawa remains the same. These homes are among the most unsafe in Tokyo, and the government wants to change that. It's not just that many of the houses here are old and not up to safety standards, it's also that the pathways between them are too narrow for emergency vehicles to get through should there be another fire or earthquake. But worse than that, there are houses here that are boxed in by other houses, which means they can't be rebuilt at all. Thousands of buckets were distributed by the fire department to help in an emergency, but that's not enough. City officials have been encouraging people to rebuild according to safety standards, but most of the residents aren't motivated and elderly, and they also don't have much money. Tax incentives and subsidies are now being offered, and if there is still no progress, city officials say they'll be forced to make things mandatory.
Disaster prevention is at the core of the city planning for Arakawa. It is the most important task we have to tackle. If we keep it as it is, we will not be able to improve the safety of the city.
Change is already coming to certain areas, and city officials are determined to work through complicated land rights and zoning laws and win over the community. Unable to predict the next disaster, the city government is working to beat the clock, assuring residents that as much of the area's character will be preserved, and sure that they understand survival is more important than history. Marga, Ortigas, Al Jazeera, Tokyo.